Started as a personal thing, has become a huge movement today, and I'm very proud of it.
You keep a very low profile. And on that note, I should tell the community that there is a hidden side to her.
As a counselor, that is a basic thing that you need: empathy and listening skills. For me, the mantra is connection, and I see that we are digitally connected but lonely. You have the solution in your head already. We just try to bring it out.
This episode is concentrating on mothers' emotional well-being.
Women generally want to portray themselves as super women, but inside, is that what they really want? Is that what they're really capable of? It's fine. Like some days you're not able to cook, some days the kid is not able to study. I give a lot of credit to my MOSB community members.
Hi. Today we have a very interesting personality for Tantrums to Triumphs at Kidzata Panchakti. She has a huge mothers community which she started a decade ago, but there are some interesting surprises to her apart from just running a mothers community. So let's dive into our conversation today with none other than the administrator of and founder of Mums of South Bangalore, which has a whopping 27,000 moms just connecting each other in south of Bangalore. Hi Madhu, and welcome to Kidzata, to
Hi,
our episode of Tantrums to Triumphs.
Thank you so much.
So let's begin with your journey. You have a very big mothers community, and we have been collaborating for many events so
True.
far. And I see that it's a very active, buzzing, interesting group. So it's not dormant. Every day there's something interesting happening. So let's begin with a bit of a background on how it all started and
Sure.
what inspired.
Sure. MOSB started 11 years ago. That was the need of the hour for me that time, because I was looking for play dates for my daughter, and I was thinking how to find the people, because I had quit my job recently. I didn't have any friends outside my colleagues. So when I was looking for play dates for my daughter, this idea came that I should start a Facebook community, especially because geographically South Bangalore would be easier to access. So there was a bigger community, but it would be difficult to access. So that's how I started this community initially. I had no idea it would grow into such huge leaps and bounds at this point of time. What started as a personal thing has become a huge movement today, and I'm very proud of it.
And you should be, rightfully, because I see the amount of work that she does in terms of bringing people together, organizing events. It's incredible. And you're very humble and down to earth.
Thank you.
You keep a very low profile. And on that note, I should tell the community that there is a hidden side to her, which I figured today. She's also a psychologist and a counselor. And how many of us knew that? I didn't know that. I've been part of that community for a very long time. I didn't
Very
have a
kind of
clue
you.
about it at all. So, tell us a little bit about your psychology journey.
Yeah, sure. So in 2020, when COVID hit us, I was working from home, but psychology was a subject that I was interested in. I used to read books and go online, read some materials and all of that. But one of my friends signed up for MA Psychology, and I was very happy to sign up too. And that's how I did my MA Psychology 2020, completed in 2022. And the subject itself is extremely fascinating for me, because human mind is so complex, and we think we know, but we actually don't know. There are many hidden facets to everybody, and that is something which fascinated me. And so after 2022, I have started counseling, but I have not advertised as such. It's only word of mouth, and I have been freelancing, had a few clients, and I'm happy with the progress. Yeah.
Wow, how many of us knew Madhu was a counselor as well?
Thank you. Thank you for announcing, and this is a wonderful platform to announce in. Yeah.
Interesting. So you manage a big community of mothers, and you also spoke to me about dealing with people who have been, especially mothers who have been dealing with anxiety and depression and so forth. How do these two complement each other? How has your psychology helped you in the community?
Yeah, sure. So, as an admin, I was never the type who would actually wield that wand. I don't want to do that strict kind of thing. So, empathy was already in me. I feel that is part of me. And as a counselor, that is a basic thing that you need: empathy and listening skills, all of that. So, this becoming a counselor was kind of add-on or complementing to my admin skills already.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came across, the mothers who actually were struggling with so many different things now, like they want to, they try to be perfect in a lot of things, and they feel that not doing enough, and there's guilt arising from it. All of that, so that leads to stress and anxiety, and that is part of our life now. So that's how it actually blends together. So having a community, connecting with each other, for me the mantra is connection. So I went through a few statistics recently, and I see that we are digitally connected but lonely.
Yes.
So our population is basically very lonely inside. So the only way to break that loneliness is by connection. So MOSB, my community, I am very proud to say that we try to connect there, whether it is online or offline. There is a connection, and that will actually help the mothers deal with their stress or anxiety or anything in general. But if there is a nagging issue within themselves, they can always reach out to a counselor like me, who would help them figure out. So counselors don't give advice as such. They don't have solutions to everybody's problems, but they just try to talk and figure out what's happening in your head. You have the solution in your head already. We just try to bring it out. So becoming an admin and a counselor, they were kind of complementing, because the empathy and compassion was already there.
Okay. Very interesting, and very rightfully said, that we're all connected. We know so many people, but we are all lonely. Everybody is lonely because we are all digitally connected. We don't build the bonds that we were able to build when we sat together and we spoke,
Very true.
and that makes a lot of difference. And as you may have guessed, that this episode is concentrating on mothers' emotional well-being, because if a mom is doing fine, and she can take very good care of the children as well. And I didn't want to announce this earlier because there was an element of surprise behind what Madhu does. So, what are the most common emotional and psychological challenges that you see that mothers are facing today?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, major thing what I'm seeing is the idea that everybody has put it out, saying women generally, mothers also, or super women. So whenever somebody is doing a lot of things, taking on too much, they're applauded.
Yep.
Doing that also, doing this all, wow. Okay, but what's happening inside her? So that is an element that probably even herself, the woman herself, is not able to identify. So that is the major issue that I'm seeing, that women want to be there, like the superwoman kind of thing, who can keep the house neat, cook for the kids, cook 3 times, take care of everybody. So, and also work, additional pressure, so many other things. So this age, that is what I'm seeing, that women generally want to portray themselves as super women, but inside, is that what they really want? Is that what they're really capable of? They can take a break, take a pause, see where their life is going. So that would be ideal. Yeah.
That is so nicely said. We are getting drained. Women are getting drained because we think we can handle everything. And somewhere we are telling ourselves that we can handle everything. And when we are not able to handle everything, that is when it starts, the anxiety, depression, and everything kicks in. So I think it is good, and there is nothing wrong in not being able to do 100 things. We are humans after all. So at the end of the day, I think even if you think that, okay, I'm going to cook, I'm going to clean, I'm going to work, I'm going to run to the supermarket. I'm going to take care of my children. I'm going to make him study. It's okay if you don't clean today.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So the social conditioning of so many years is on us. To break away from that, it will take some time, but we are slightly getting there.
Yep.
And yeah, women need women to support them, tell them that it's okay.
Yeah. And that's important to have a lot of friends, and community like MOSP is what brings everybody together. Sure. Yeah, that's fantastic. So, what are the early signs that one should look out for if someone is going through that emotional turmoil and they haven't been able to identify that within themselves?
Wonderful question. So I feel that early signs is when you are like irritated all the time. You're not able to sit at peace. You have to constantly be doing something. In spite of it, you're not happy. At the end of the day, you don't think that I have achieved something. So those are not good signs. That is your body telling you to take a break, to take a pause, to rest, all of those things. So the early signs, I would say, is when you're in that state of mind almost every other day, where you are irritated, frustrated, and maybe sometimes you're not able to sleep well. That is also a sign that your mind is not able to calm down. Those are the early signs we can look out for.
Excellent. Yeah. And I think this is where the family comes into picture.
Very much.
A lot of times the women are not able to maybe understand that they are irritable most of the time. They are not able to sleep properly. And even if they do identify, they think it is the work that they're doing that's causing the irritation or, the sleepless nights. But I think this is where the spouse or the children
True.
or, the parents, whoever is around the woman should understand and ask them to pause and say, hey, can you see what you're doing to yourself in the last couple of days? This is not a one-time thing that's happening.
Correct.
If it's happening repeatedly, it means that you're not at peace with yourself.
True. Very true. Very true. So for that, awareness is the only way.
Yeah.
So the woman should be aware that something is not right, and she should be able to communicate and convey to the family.
Yeah.
Convey should all the family also should be inclusive. They also should start thinking from the other point of time. It's fine. Like some days you're not able to cook. Some days the kid is not able to study. One of the tests he gets lesser grades. It's fine.
Okay.
So you should know as a family where to draw the line.
Yeah. That's and that brings me to my next question. You have a big group of women and a lot of them mothers, and they are dealing with all these things. And I'm sure that has risen to a lot of maybe situations that would have been difficult to handle as well, because they need to get it out somewhere, right?
Yeah. No.
Have you had such situations?
Luckily, few. So very maybe countable, I can say. In the period of this 10 years, very few. Overall, I give lot of credit to my MOSB community members, because more or less it's been peaceful. Once in a while somebody puts out some say controversial statement or something that they are going through, which other person is not actually in line with. That happens. It happens in any scenario. So for me to deal with such scenarios, the first thing is to come with compassion. Not go with the idea that, oh, this person is that. We should not be biased. So as a counselor also, that is one thing that we are taught again and again. Whatever the other person is saying, you don't have your own bias. You don't react according to your inner bias. Easier said than done, but that has to be done. So whenever there are issues like that, I try to come with compassion, thinking both of them are right in their own way. There is a reason why there is a difference of opinion, and it's okay. So that's how I have been able to manage till now.
Yeah.
But like I said, there are very few.
Nice. And the fact is that it's a digital platform, a way of communication, right? Whether it's the WhatsApp group or the Facebook. Sometimes the tone of what the conversation, the tone behind what they're trying to say may not be perceived by the other person the way it should be.
Quite possible.
Yeah. So with the whole digital communication, that gets lost somewhere.
Correct.
That, you know, I may have typed something, but I may not have meant it in the tone that you have understood it to be.
Very true. That's quite possible. So that's where this compassion and empathy comes in place. Thinking that there might be some reason why this person has put it out like that. So when you reach out to both of them individually and try to understand their point of view, it just fizzles out.
Yeah.
Most of the time there is no major issue.
Okay.
It's like you said, there is some small misunderstanding about the word or about the tone or something like that.
Yeah.
As long as we agree to disagree, then there is no issue.
Right. Yeah, no, that's good. That's really good. So, in terms of you being a counselor, a freelance counselor, and you have spoken to quite a lot of mothers, and you have been running MOSP for the last 11 years. What is the big shift? Do you see a change in moms a decade ago to the moms now?
Yeah. So what I have seen is the shift in the way women are handling things now. So earlier what I see is 10 years back, it used to be one kind of stigma to even talk about things or share about things, and people wouldn't come forward. So now I think that women are ready to share, they are ready to talk, and that is a big shift. So the awareness that it is okay to share, that you know, whether it is a smaller group of friends or a bigger community, it's okay to share, it's okay to get ideas, whether it is a small query, whether it is a big issue that's happening at home. So that is the shift that I've seen. So earlier women used to feel bad about sharing or whatever, but now they're more comfortable.
Yeah. And that's interesting because once you are comfortable, you get the support that you need.
Yes.
As well. It's a two-way street, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you don't ask, you don't get.
Definitely.
Very,
So
very
when there are many, even in our WhatsApp group, I can see there's one query and there are 10 people who are answering. So women are ready.
Yeah.
They are ready to give answers.
Yeah.
You just have to ask.
Yes, you just have to ask, and you just need to feel that it's okay to ask.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in asking anyone anything. You know,
Yeah,
you just ask. If maximum nobody will reply. That's it, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the shift I have seen.
Yeah. Very interesting. And that's good. It means that people are opening up, you know, and they're ready to seek help if they need help as well.
Yeah.
So, is there like a moment in the community when you know, with everything that's happening, that you felt very proud about, and you just felt that what you're doing is right?
There have been many actually. So most of them, I think, when I get a one small line as a DM where mother is telling that just because somebody answered, I did this, and then the issue was resolved. You know, so they're two unknown people, completely unknown people, no, not friends per se, but still her issue got resolved, and she came back and DM'd me saying, just because of this particular person, I got this, you know, help when I needed it the most. So such things have happened quite often. Even when some of my mompreneurs who do business, they say, we got business from your group, I made money. That makes me proud.
Yep.
So a lot of events, little moments like this.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, of course, a lot of collaborations we have done with MOSP, and I know how you run the whole show, and it really reflects on the way you know, the whole event goes as well. What are the myths around counseling that you think mothers should
So one major thing that what I have seen is people resort or seek out counseling only when there is a crisis, when you have already reached a tipping point, when things you are unable to handle. That is when people reach out to counselors. Mothers especially. Generally also it is the general trend, but mothers, women especially, they reach out only when there is a crisis. They think that they have to reach out only when there is a crisis. That is a myth. So that is what I wanted to tell here. You don't have to reach out to counselors only when there is a crisis. To give an analogy, you go to the dentist and get your teeth cleaned even when there is no cavity. That's how you prevent cavity later, right? So what I would suggest is, you should not wait till
Mhm.
you reach that tipping point where there is a crisis and you are unable to handle. As soon as you see little warning signs, you reach out. Reach
Yeah.
out to somebody, talk to somebody. 1 or 2 sessions is also fine. Whether they are your friend, confidant, a professional, anybody is fine.
Yeah.
So that is the myth I want to break today. Thinking that, okay, I'll go when things go overboard. That's not right.
Yeah, and it's okay to ask for a counselor when
Yes.
they need.
Yes.
There's quite a lot of counselors. You can talk to them a couple of times and figure
Yes.
out what works best for you. Any non-negotiable, mental health mantra for the mothers from you?
What I have seen is self-care, that so-called word that is floating everywhere. Women think that it is a luxury. So for me, the mantra is self-care is not luxury. Rest is not luxury. It is a requirement.
Yeah.
You need to reset. You need to reset your body. You need to reset your mind.
Yeah.
So the mantra for every woman I say should be that self-care is important. I'll take some time, whatever it can be. You want to sleep, it's fine. You want to read a book, it's fine. You want to meet friends, it's fine. That's your me time. If it is giving you some kind of happiness, do it without guilt.
Yeah.
So for me, that is the mantra that helps, and I hope and wish that everybody follows that.
Yeah, you need to put yourself first sometimes.
Yes.
If you're fine, your family is fine.
Yes.
And you can get your work done properly as well. So,
Yeah. Stop feeling guilty for that.
Yeah. So, if anyone wants to join your community or reach out to you for your counseling services, what is the best way?
Yeah, I leave my number. It can be, you can just reach out to me directly. If you want to join my community, it is very easy. There's a link. You can search for Moms of South Bangalore, which is called MOSB. Send a join request, be a part of our group. And just, we are all a bunch of women who are trying to figure out life together. That's all. So please join.
That's nice. We're all, of course, trying to figure out what is life together, and
Yeah.
that's very interesting. We will leave the links on our description of the podcast for Moms of South Bangalore for Instagram and Facebook, and we will also leave the Instagram handle for Madhu, whom you can probably message and contact if you need any counseling services. She has dealt with a lot of women as a counselor and also as an individual, and she's always approachable. I have sent you a message so many times for events and you have always replied, and I don't know how you do that with so many messages that come to you.
It's just a passion. I want to do that.
Yeah, very highly passionate. So it'll be really nice, to see the community keep growing and to see all the good work that you're doing. Wish you all the best, and thank you for coming today and
Thank you.
sharing your journey with us.
Thank you so much, Deepti. Thank you.